welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. A quick reminder that you can watch the show on the go. Join our Facebook and YouTube live stream so you don't miss out on any of the action right here in the studio. Talking about the action, let's get the conversation started because the National Assembly is considering something big, something huge, right? Because there's this proposal as far as electoral amendments are concerned. 1 day general election. How does that sound? Every election conducted in a single day. Presidential, governorship, National Assembly, State Assembly, all in 1 day. Good idea? Well, let's have your say on this one because this is part of the proposal that has scaled second reading as the House of Representatives proposed a bill to hold all elections, like I mentioned, presidential, governorship, National Assembly and State Assembly elections, as well as even local government elections to be conducted on the same day if INEC can come up with the modalities for that. Now, while many of them in that debate say that this move will help reduce costs and streamline the process, there are some concerns over INEC's capacity and possible logistic challenges as the lawmakers continue their push for all of these constitutional amendments. But isn't it possible for us to upscale the capacity of INEC to get the job done? Imagine how convenient it would be. Imagine how, disruptive it will be, not having to worry about, who is going to get the win first and whether that win for the APC or PDP or Labour Party or NNPP could influence successive wins. Everybody is just finding out their fate at the same time, right? You know who is the president, who is going to win for the presidency, for the National Assembly, for the governors, within the shortest possible period. I mean, we could start the same day and end it the same day, or perhaps go to the next day. What do you think? Is this a good idea to have future elections all on the same day? Does that make sense to you? Because that is what the House of Representatives is moving with as far as the constitutional review is concerned. And they're looking at this as a possible solution to the quagmire. And I suppose that it will definitely reduce our costs significantly. Logistic-wise, I mean, we just have to add 2 more boxes, right? And that is the box of the governor and the box of the State Assembly. And that's it, right? That is literally it. You have 1 box for the presidency, 1 box for the National Assembly, I beg your pardon, 1 box for the Senate, 1 box for the House of Representatives, 1 box for the governor, 1 box for the State Assembly. I know you're going to have 5 ballot papers in a single election, but trust me, you'll be saving yourself the stress of having to come back a week or 2 later to repeat the same thing in 2 other boxes, right? I mean, you would have already decided who you're going to vote for anyway. It's just time saving. And logistic-wise, I think it also makes sense. But let's know what you think about this one. The number is showing on your TV screen. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp in case you want to use that alternative. Articulate your thoughts. Be civil. Remember the rules of engagement. If you call in, please ensure that the volume of your TV set is down to the barest minimum so that it does not interfere with our conversation. We're talking about future amendments, or rather current amendments that may actually change the game in several aspects. There are several other amendments that we're going to talk about during the course of the program, but this one is a huge one, and that's why we're talking about it. 1 day general elections. Do you support this amendment? Hello, good morning. Let's speak to our first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. This is Abdullahi calling from Makodi, Benue State.
Abdullahi, how is Makodi this morning?
Makodi is definitely fine.
Good. Let me have your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Is it a good idea?
Makodi is extremely fine. Yes, it's a very good idea. Number 1, it will reduce the federal government cost. Number 2, it reduces stress on us so that everything will be done at the right time. And the only thing our afraid is we should put everything in prayer. Because the politician has so many ways of diversion. They may create another high tension that since they know they are not going to win at that particular time, they will create a situation whereby they will connive with the bad boy in terms of stealing the box. If we have enough graduates on the ground and we have enough security on the ground, the federal government can employ more graduates so that they will participate on the election and more security to protect the boxes. If that thing is done, by God's grace, we are going to succeed. And there will be no high tension during the election time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you very much for that apt take, Abdullahi from Okode. Enjoy the rest of your day. I think his concerns are quite genuine, especially those flashpoints where violence on election day has become a norm, right? That is what we're trying to prevent. However, I think we can always, do better when it comes to improving our elections. Maybe also ahead of 2027, INEC is trying to fine-tune the idea of electronic voting or even early voting or something like that, just so we can address some of these security gaps that always disrupt the electoral process. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Abdullahi.
Shatima Yakudima, as always. You're not in pole position today, but thank you so much for calling in. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Maiduguri, alhamdulillah, Abdullahi.
Good.
It is okay, it is peaceful.
Right. Happy to hear that. Go ahead. What do you think? Is it a good idea to have all these elections in one day?
Well, general election in one day, honestly speaking, I do not support it. Because it is a way of manipulating things. Because we don't have enough manpower to conduct that election in a single day. But if they will be serious, if the government will be serious, let it be electoral voting. Let it be manpower saving. Then I think it will be okay. But the way we are doing now, if you say that's the way they will conduct it in a day, I'm not in support. Honestly speaking, I'm not in the support. But you see, Mala Abdullahi, to be sincere, there is a lot of things that will sanitize our election, but they are not talking about it. They are went ahead talking about something else. You see, the truth of the matter is, the political parties are too many. On the voters' card. Now on the voters on the voters' paper.
The ballot paper. Yeah.
There are too many. They are confusing the voters. That's sincere speaking. And if you look at it very well, these political parties, they have been appearing as a political parties, but they are not contributing anything. The majority of them, they don't have even party manifestos. They don't have manifestos. They are there to be collecting, federal government allocation. That's what they are. They are there using that name of that party, parasiting the resources of the government. But if they can reduce the number of the political parties, it will be okay. And to introduce an independent candidate, it will be okay. It will bring a sanity towards the election. But this one they are talking about, they are just trying to play with our intelligence. It's a zigzag policy.
Right.
They try to fool our senses somewhere else so that they can do what they want to do. But we pray and we hope. Since they have started talking this way, I think the sanity will come. Okay. And by God's willing, as I said yesterday, the Nigerian politics will receive a higher change, higher turnover. I think it will bring a very good result 2027. Inshallah. Because our voters, they have regained their senses.
I hope so.
They feel the difficulties. And now, I think money politics, it will be the theme of the past. Inshallah, that's our prayer.
Okay. Shetima, as always,
that's my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in, as always. Shetima is on the other side today, this morning, talking about being cautiously optimistic or, doubtful about the potential of this being a game changer. He talks about the modalities and logistics. Why? Yes, I think the ballot paper with 18 political parties sometimes can be quite overwhelming, but I believe that we can do something about that, right? Usually you just have 4 to 5 key political parties in action. But who's to say that INEC is not going to review those that particular list? Let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
How are you?
I can barely make out what you're saying. If you can speak louder. I don't know if it's the connection or if it's from your end. Hello, good morning. Who is on the line? Can you please come again? All right, let's move to the next caller. Apologies. Maybe try calling again. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Good morning. Hello.
Okay, I'm George Christopher. I'm calling from Yola, Adamawa State.
George, how is Yola this morning?
Yola is fine.
Good to hear
Yola is fine. Abdullahi, good to see you again.
Good to hear from you again, George. Thank you so much for calling. Go ahead, please.
I think it's a good idea from the INEC. But I have a problem. Does the INEC have the wherewithal to conduct the election in a day? What I mean by wherewithal is the resources. We have about 774 local governments in Nigeria with about 9,000 wards, electoral wards or areas. About 180,000 polling units. Do you think the INEC have the wherewithal in terms of logistics, resources, human power?
Yeah, George, don't you think that that's what they're doing already?
Security to conduct these elections in a day?
Yeah, but George, they go to the same polling units at the same time for the same elections, right? So it's just going there once instead of going there twice. That's the whole point. It's the same polling units that they use for presidential and national assembly elections.
Automatically increases. Yeah, like in the last election, we had about 16,000 contestants. If you are going to do it in a day, do you think the INEC can do it successfully?
Well, at least the House of Representatives thinks it's doable.
That is my problem with the idea.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, George. I appreciate your take on this one. Yes, people have a right to question the idea itself and what is actually going to do to change the game. But listen, the same polling units that are in action for the federal elections, for the presidency, the National Assembly elections are the same ones that have been activated for the governorship and state assembly elections. So I suppose the proposals, the sponsors of those bills are clearly thinking, listen, if you're just going to go to the same place twice to conduct 2 separate elections, how about you go there once and conduct all those elections at the same time? Okay, they're going to the same location twice, right? So for instance, in Adamawa State, if you're going to go to Tongo twice to conduct an election, we know how remote that location is, for instance, right? You go to the Niger Delta, where access to those places can be very tricky, right? At any time of the year. How about they just go there once and the election is done and dusted? I think that's the idea behind it, and it saves time, and more importantly, it saves money. So you don't have to transport your staff going there twice. So I suppose the money that they have to save from that could be used to upscale their capacity. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
My name is Tony. I'm calling from Benue.
Mr. Tony Eze, always a pleasure. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think the truth of the matter is that those people, they are not thinking about the right thing. Now, is conducting the election in one day is the problem that we are having in the electoral system in Nigeria. Is it what we need in Nigeria for now? That after 2022 election, we solve the problem we have here and there. I win, I no win, I win, I no win. And the problem started from transmission of the result from the polling unit. That was not mandatory for INEC to do it, according to them. If they know that they have our own interest in their own heart as people that are representing us, please, what Nigeria needs now is, when you vote, your vote count right away from your polling unit, and not conducting in one day. You are talking about some places that is hard. We are forgetting about that there is some people that are not educated. You see some old people, they hold them in hand, and then tell me how those old people with thumbprints to all those things at a time. For somebody that is educated, it's easier. But there is some people that are not educated. There is some people that has one shortcoming or other, that cannot do it like a educated person. But my brother, what we need now is how our electoral system can be tight so that our politician cannot maneuver it. And that is what Nigeria will, so that so many people will be willing to come out under sun, under rain, to vote their choice. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tony. As always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. His take there about what this actually means for Nigeria's electoral process, whether this is value addition or not, he seems to be in agreement with Shetima that this is not a step in the right direction. But it's safe to say that the House of Representatives thinks it's a good idea because this has passed second reading. We don't know if it's going to pass eventually, but this is so far what our representatives, and I must say also the representatives of Mr. Tony Eze and Shetima Yokudima, have given their voice to this idea. So they've used, the mandate you've given them to say this is the best way forward. But I also think that it's good to provide some context to all of these things. While it's true that there are bigger concerns with regards to our electoral process, I think if you go to the National Assembly, the federal elections on day one for the president in the National Assembly, you have 3 ballot papers. What this means, this change, and I think I'm apparently on the pro side of it, right, is that you're going to get 2 additional ballot papers. Are we saying that 2 additional ballot papers is going to confuse a voter who is already used to printing 3 ballot papers? I mean, it's just 2 more and 2 more boxes. Let's agree to disagree on this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. How are you? Morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Who is on the line and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bombay State.
Yeah, your name, and then please help me turn down the volume of your TV set.
I'm talking with the Trust TV.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can also hear myself in the background. So please turn down the volume of your TV set. Are we there? Okay. Give it another try. In case you're a first-time caller, the rules of engagement are quite simple. Turn down the volume of your TV set. Be as articulate as you can. Do not forget to state your name and where you're calling from, and go straight to the point, because we love to sample so many of these ideas. Now, let's speak to our next caller before we take a look at our WhatsApp page. Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
Morning, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you. I am Tarfa calling from Makodi, Benin State.
I beg your pardon, please come again. Terfa.
I'm Tarfa from Makodi, Benin State.
Okay, Terfa, good morning. Please go ahead.
I really want to appreciate you for the wonderful opportunity you're giving us. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's so very sad to really be, to start this. One, yes, elections can be conducted in one day. And, hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, elections can be conducted in one day. Why do I say this? Yeah, we have a population of 200 million Nigerians. I believe with the 200 million Nigerians we have, let's assume 100 million people are voting. Now, it's as simple as this. You're saving costs. Because most of us move from town to stay in town, so we go to the villages to vote. So imagine the cost of fueling your car. Suppose you have a high utility car. It takes about 50,000 just to fuel and go and come back 50,000. Why are you doing this? Who is paying you for this? Really, nobody is paying for this. You're being patriotic. So the issue now is this. For me, it's so annoying when you talk about the Nigerian system. If we have elections in one day, believe me, it reduces manipulations. Because in the Nigerian system, look, if the president wins, everybody now is voting this way. If the president goes that way, everybody is going this way. But imagine a situation we have where you see the president emerges from, let's say, AD, whatever, and the governors, senators from different platforms. It makes it very convenient for us. The logistics-wise, it saves cost. People are, I heard one or two callers say, hey, it's cumbersome. This is not cumbersome. The best INEC could do is, okay, let's recruit 2 more staffs to add to whatever hot staffs we have. Peacefully done, and it's beautiful. So for me, this is a step forward. People who say our problem is not this. Our problem is with democracy. How do we make it work? It needs to have a clean slate, a very convenient level for us to start growing and developing. And the best way is let elections be conducted in one day. It takes off all this, hey, the president wins, so everybody moves this side. For me, that's what I see. And I feel Nigerians should see the same way too. So I think it's very, very possible. 100% possible. And it's better for Nigerians, for INEC, and for every other person if elections are conducted in one day. Thank you so much.
Terfa, thank you so much for calling. Have a good day ahead. Just to give you some context, we have on the INEC website 93,469,008 registered voters, right? 176,846 polling units. And registered political parties are 19 now. I don't know when they added another one, but they are 19 now. And as they did say, cost-benefit analysis. Look at it from the economic standpoint, right? If we're spending, like the last time, I think we spent over 200 plus billion naira conducting the elections. At the end of the day, we were asking ourselves, did we get value for money? Because of all the litigations that, came after the elections, right? And he also said, it may be a high-stake, high-reward situation, but imagine if everybody is finding out their fate on the same day. There's no chance that the ruling party could influence what comes next and so on and so forth. So that is also something to consider. And I believe that we need some sort of disruption to really shake the system to its core so that it begins to actually serve the interest of Nigerians. Let's take a look at our WhatsApp platform to read some messages. This one says, one day general election will change the narrative for the better if INEC officials have the capacity to deliver this assignment in one day. Number one, it will reduce election malpractices and it will secure victory for genuine candidates nationwide. No name. I would have loved to know who sent that message, but thank you so much for joining the conversation. Let's take a look at the next contribution on WhatsApp to understand what the people are saying on the other side of the spectrum in speaking about this one-day general election idea, which has scaled second reading as part of the constitutional review and amendment process. This one on the electoral amendments that we're going to need. A lot of people are talking about the positive side of it. Some people are expressing their concerns, which I think are germane questions to be asked, to be honest, right? We can agree to disagree about what this actually means, whether it's a wholly positive move or there are some downsides to it. Let's take a look at the next message on WhatsApp. This one says, good morning, Justin Pius from Kafanchang in Kaduna State says, I concur with the House of Representatives, not House of Assembly, but it is also an assembly. So, Justin, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I appreciate your thoughts on this one. Justin from Kafanchang saying that he concurs. This is a step in the right direction. I mean, something about it just speaks to me, right? You don't have, especially on the cost part of it. Don't get me mixed up on the logistics part. I think there's some questions there about INEC being able to do it. However, I think if you look at the added responsibility of just dealing with 2 more ballot boxes for the governorship and the state assembly elections, listen, as a voter, someone who has voted multiple times before, I think giving me 2 extra ballot boxes and walking to the 2 ballot papers and walking to the ballot boxes is not going to stress me any further. I mean, these papers are very thin. It's not like you're struggling. And if I already know who I'm going to vote for, I mean, I'm eager to vote for whoever I want on the same day so that I don't have to worry about the next weekend, right? And also, remember, when it's election time, those Saturdays, we're killing businesses on that particular day. So how about we're saving ourselves the stress of shutting down our economy 2 times in a short period of time, right? Because Saturdays are usually very busy where people do their shopping and so on and so forth. And the no movement thing on election day also. I mean, how about we just do it once and we're done? Let's go back to WhatsApp and see the next comment. This one is coming from Dr. Livingston Ekanem from Jos. He says, good morning. Regards to Sunday, Leland and Sumaya. Blessings to the team. Thank you so much, Dr. Livingston. He says, the problem with our election is corruption. They should focus on mandating INEC to transmit results from polling units straight to IREV. Staggering the election is not our problem. What is the important question that every election must answer is whether the votes of the people truly count. Blessings on your day, and blessings on your day too, Dr. St. Livingston Ekanem from Jos, always contributing meaningfully to our conversation. Thank you, and I do get your point. I do get your point. This is not a silver bullet. This is not going to solve all the problems, but I think it's going to solve one problem, or a couple of more problems actually, in terms of logistics, in terms of cost, and I also think that's also significant. We have this habit of spending a lot of money on our elections. Nigerian elections are some of the most expensive elections in the world, not just on the African continent. I believe we have the most expensive election on the African continent. Yes, we have the largest democracy, but you ask the question, are we getting value for money? Every election cycle, the money continues to go up. Yes, there's inflation, there's all of these things to be factored in, but are we getting value for money? The point he made there about INEC sticking to the rules of engagement, sticking to its own procedures and not faltering on election day is also important to point out. Back to WhatsApp, let's take a look at the next comment. This one from Ibrahim Egwa from Lafia says, with the ease of mobile banking where you can transfer funds securely using USSD codes from the comfort of your own spaces, it's puzzling that voting can be made equally convenient be made equally convenient and secure. Why can't we vote remotely using our phones, eliminating the need for physical polling stations and potential voter suppression? The Electoral Act is in dire need of amendment to reflect the changing times and technological advancements. While holding all elections on the same day is a step in the right direction, we must prioritize electoral reform to ensure the process is secure, transparent, and accessible to all. Ibrahim, good point, but I think you're thinking as a tech-savvy individual. You say accessible to all. That idea might not necessarily be accessible to all. Yes, we do have a considerable coverage. in terms of internet services or mobile services across the country. But when it comes to elections, you want to ensure that no one is disenfranchised. And I also get your point that it could be an option. On election day, you could decide to vote electronically, or you could decide to vote in person. You know, I have reservations about multiple voting in that area, whether INEC has the ability to detect it early enough so that it does not reflect on the vote tally. But it's an idea. I think you're onto something there. Let's move to the next comment on WhatsApp to hear what the conversation is. Mr. Shoembo Tolani joined the conversation again from Ogun. He says, having our election on a single day is a good initiative and a welcome development, as you have highlighted in our prologue. Okay, this will bring about reduction of cost and logistics, etc., reduce stress, and giving the voters to really get to make up their mind on whom to vote for, because there isn't any second chance to vote for your party after voting. Our democracy is making progress. Mr. Shoembo, always good to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. It saves time. It saves time. And that is something that we cannot deny, right? But as we always say, this, like many other things in our life, is a work in progress. So let's see where the House of Representatives or the National Assembly ends up with the appropriate amendments that would add value to our electoral processes as well as systems in the country. Thank you all for the invaluable contributions, for your thoughts, for your text messages, and for the calls.